40 years ago, my dad killed a 10-foot bear. I spotted the bear when I was 3. You heard it right. When I was 3 years old, I came out of the shower and I saw a bear, and my dad had to go out there and kill the bear because it was going to eat us. So I guess from a very young age, I had to learn about survival. And I've heard the phrase, and you have too, only the strong survive. What I'm talking about is how different I am and the people from my generation are in comparison to the younger generation. When I was growing up, yes, there were sports where people were still getting participation trophies. However, these days, it's almost like everyone is a victim. And that's sad because, this is a topic that not many people want to talk about, and I think it's important to address it. For many years, ever since around 2005, 2006, I started seeing a shift in the way that children were, and it became more and more evident in 2007 and 8 whenever I started seeing more cell phones and more tablets. And those tablets and cell phones were used to educate children, but also it would suck them in, and it would be basically a babysitter. Now, what I've experienced is a lot of adults that were kids at that time are now having children of their own. And because that is what they were taught when they were young, they pass on those same kind of habits onto their children. And that is not a great thing. It has been shown that in studies that people that are on electronic devices, it decreases the gray matter in their brain. And only 2 hours on an electronic device per day for children under age of 9, they are starting to have changes in their brain. Now, there was a study done by this in 2012 with Harvard University, and you can still find that study. So I've been watching very carefully on the students that have been coming into my school for the past several years. And since the pandemic, I can tell you, which is still technically ongoing, but it's very much at the end of its cycle, that the personalities have changed quite a bit in children, and a lot of them are scared. There's a lot of fear. And the reason for that fear is because of uncertainty. And what we need to do for our own children is make sure they feel comforted and they feel like they are safe and they're able to accomplish whatever the goal they want to accomplish in this life. With that being said, what is really scary is that a lot of children have a decreased sense of self, and they also have issues with their mental stability and their physical capabilities. Their emotional and their behavioral aspects is also in a very low state. In America, you'll find a lot of kids, whenever someone can do something, they will laugh at them. However, that's not the case in other countries around the world. And I think we need to follow other countries and what they do. For example, Japan, you can look for this about a boy who is trying to somersault over a horse that you find in gymnastics. And if you look for this video, which put it in the description box below, it's a very inspiring video because the boy, whenever he tries and tries and tries, he gets upset because he's not able to accomplish the goal he wants to accomplish. But what really is amazing, what happens is the kids come together and they put their arms around him, and what they do is they basically just praise him and try to encourage him. And then with that encouragement, they go and sit back down, and that boy is able to accomplish the goal he was already set out to accomplish. And everyone cheers and is really happy for him. I think that's a very healthy way to be, and a very healthy aspect that we really need to focus on in America. Now, I think it's important to understand that the children are not okay. A lot of children that come into my facility with or without special needs, I'm finding that the kids that are considered normal, they are actually becoming more special needs because their needs are not being met and their coordination is not good and their balance and reflexes are also pretty slow. They're not able to do simple calisthenics such as push-ups and sit-ups. And part of it is identifying the muscles, and another part of it is getting kids to understand that the pain they feel when they do a push-up or when they do stretching, that the pain that they feel is a good pain. When you ask a child, is that a good pain or bad pain when they do a push-up, from what I've experienced, 90% of them say it's a bad pain. Maybe you should ask your child right now, or ask them after this video about those things, and see what they say. And you might be surprised by their answer because you'll find that I'm right. Now, I'm not right all the time, but most of the time I am. And all I've ever wanted to do is help people, achieve their goals in their life, and whatever that might be. And I'm very excited whenever I see a child go and become, of course, a teenager, then an adult, and they do set out on the path that they wanted to, and they don't just take the path of least resistance, but they take the challenges head on, and they focus on trying to achieve whatever goals they put out in front of them. I think it's important for children to have short, mid, and long-term goals. I think teenagers as well, and adults. Because if you want to accomplish anything in this life, you have to have a plan. And if you don't know how to get to where you want to be in life, let's say you want to be a rocket scientist or an engineer, whatever, then all you got to do is basically reverse engineer that and figure out all the steps that someone had to get there, how to get there. And so if you do that, then you can trace your steps back and you can figure out a plan, and then you can put that plan in action, and then you can just work diligently towards that plan, and your dream will come true. As long as you work towards that dream. Now, in my life, a lot of my dreams have already came true, and that's because I work extremely hard. And in a future video, I will be talking about adversity and talking about struggle, and how that's really important. If you want to be successful in this life, you have to have challenges. And I'm finding that a lot of children don't want those type of challenges because they think it's either too hard or they're not able to do it. When kids come in and they already are like this, just so you know, and you're going to probably find that your child's like this as well, that they shut down really easily after they give it one try. And the reason for this is because they've been programmed to think that way. And I don't watch a lot of television, and I haven't watched it for many years. I do like to watch stuff on social media, of course, like anyone else. But what I did was I did several experiments. For example, the last television show I really watched was a show called Seinfeld, and everyone knows what that is. But I was watching it as it was going off, and I really don't watch it anymore. I tried watching it not long ago, and I really couldn't get into it. And so about, I don't know, 5-7 years ago, I decided to come home and turn the TV on and actually watch TV for about 10-15 minutes. And what I saw appalled me, because I could not believe that the information that children are seeing on television is what it is. Because if you watch enough young children on YouTube and TikTok and all that, you'll find that they mimic what they see. And kids are capable of mimicking what they see to a degree where they can do anything really if they want to do it. But the problem is commitment. People aren't committed like they used to be. They might try something for a day or a week or a month, and they think, okay, well, I did that, then I guess I did it. However, that doesn't really do much for you other than become a jack of all trades and a master of none. So if you work diligently towards whatever goal it might be, let's say you want to be a baseball pitcher. You're not supposed to throw baseballs year-round. Professional baseball coaches tell you that if you throw a baseball year-round, you throw your arm out. So you have to have your arm, give it time to rest. So there's a way to go about things if you want to achieve those goals. However, some goals are not always realistic. And I think it's important to have a backup plan and a backup plan of a backup plan. Like if you want to be a professional athlete, the chances of you becoming a professional athlete is 1% of 1% of 1% of 1%. It's not great. However, I'm not saying you cannot do that. You definitely can make it. But the margins are so slim that you have to also think more outside the box. Now, if you think, okay, I'm just going to focus only on this, and then I will be able to make it because I'm only focusing all my work on all my attention on it. Yes, that can still happen. It still can come true. However, it doesn't normally work out that way because there's something called talent. Now, I didn't believe in talent until I met my wife. She's a very talented person. However, speaking of which, even Mike Tyson said he didn't believe in talent. Hard work beats talent all day long, right? Well, that's true, but you got to have some kind of talent in order to be able to carry yourself through to whatever goal you're trying to achieve, especially when it comes to sports. Now, speaking of sports, in my experience of teaching for 25 years, what I've noticed was very interesting is that a lot of people want their child to try to earn a scholarship to go to college, whether it be in volleyball or baseball or softball. And I've already gone through the experience where someone would tell me, well, we're going to focus on this sport because we want our kid to get a scholarship. Well, people don't realize that there is actually scholarships in karate as well. But whenever people tell me they want to get a scholarship, I think, okay, they want to go to some major university that's going to be a very good place for them to go. But what ends up happening is they end up going to a university that's local. And I thought, really? You know, if a person were to focus on the martial arts, especially what I teach, I know that what I teach can develop a person to where when they go play a sport, doesn't matter really what it is, they excel to such a degree that people wonder how long they've been playing for, or how did they get so good so fast. And what it comes down to is something really simple, and that is that karate helps use both sides of the brain. If you only focus on one side of the brain, like for example baseball, you catch with one hand and throw with the other, and that's normally how it is for most people, then you're really only using parts of your brain, not the entire brain. It took 100 years for a baseball player to actually throw a perfect game with both arms. It took 100 years. So that person was using both sides of their brain. But in karate, you're using both sides of your brain in almost everything you do. And you have to work on both sides, because the right side of the brain controls the left side of the body, left side of the brain controls the right side of the body. It's that simple, but also it's that complex. So whenever someone does karate, the curriculum that the students have to achieve is very difficult. And the schools that teach it right, like my school, we put you through the paces. We do not give out any belts, no matter what. And we've only had about 9 black belts in the past 18 years in the city I live in. Now, you might wonder, well, your standard is really high. Well, we are certified worldwide. And with that being the case, we're certified through Japan, not United States. So I think people need to look at karate more than just punching and kicking, because it's 90% mental and it's 10% physical. And the things you learn in karate, you can apply to life, and things that you experience in life can be applied in karate. So I think at this point, I want to just tell you to think about all the things I said and to really digest it, and to maybe look at karate with a different set of eyes, and to challenge your child, and don't let them have everything they want, and don't give in, even when they're 8, 9 years old, whenever it's easy, because once you give in, that's it. I made a video titled, "Is Your 9-year-old Talking Back to You Yet?" Another thing I want to say real quick is that I've noticed that when kids develop a certain personality around 8 or 9, they don't necessarily change in 10 years from that point. They stay pretty much the same unless something drastic happens in their life. Now, there was an experience I had with a boy who at 9 years old would talk back to his mother. Now, he only made it to our first belt in our school. I talked to that mother 10 years later, and I asked her, had her son changed at all? And she says, no, and he's in the military. He's in the Marines. And I said, well, how's that going for him? She said, well, he asked me after about halfway through his first tour or enlistment if he should continue going. And she said, yes, because you haven't changed yet. And that right there is so powerful, because it tells you that people don't really change unless they want to make that change. So we need to set a standard for our children, our future, to pull up the bootstraps, to work hard towards their goals, and to not play the victim. Because if you play the victim, oh poor me, how far are you going to get in life with that attitude? You're not. Another thing is that people don't realize how important what I'm saying really is. But I know what I'm saying is going to help a lot of people. But we just need to work together as a team so we can get everyone on the same page. Because all we want to do is help those develop good character and become very successful in life. Because that's what you want, right? Karate is not just for kids. It's for everyone. I teach students as young as 2, and currently my oldest student is 70. And another student that's actually 68, both of those 2 students have been training with me for over 10 years. So age is just a number. If you want to live a long time, then you need to do something that helps improve your physical and your mental and your emotional capabilities. And I know that martial arts is a vehicle for me and a vehicle for many others that has helped so many people over the years achieve greatness in their life. Thanks for watching. Show us your one-hand push-up. Okay. Go ahead. Okay, switch arms. Try to go lower. There you go. All right. I think your arms are tired now, huh? No?
Now I do the clap one.
Oh, you can do a clap one?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna do those two.
Go for it. Show us you can clap. Whoa.
Whoa.
Nice try. Can you clap behind your back?
Oh, yeah.
You can?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead.
Oh, wait. It's this in the way.
Oh, it's in the way? Okay.